Hi, we are here to tell you about an electronic sensor technology called Z-Nose. Do you know moldy corn kernels contain microbial volatile organic compounds? Corn kernels fermented to make silage often get damaged due to the growth of fungi, or mold, which produces odors containing MVOCs, perceived by humans as musty smells. Also, the primary acid produced by corn fermentation is lactic acid, that often gives fermented corn a sour note. Z-Nose helps in detecting the damaged moldy corn kernels by quantifying the musty odor. To speculate the efficiency of Z-Nose, sour, musty and good corn samples were evaluated. 5 different samples, number 170 and number 101 of sour corn kernels, moldy corn sample number 150, and samples number 1 and number 2 of good corn were used to complete the testing process. Approximately 5 grams of corn were placed into a 40 milliliters vial sealed with a Septra lid. Then, the vials were thermostated at a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes, before measuring the chemicals within the headspace. The vapors were sampled using a side-ported sampling needle to pierce the septa of each vial. Now let's take a look at the chromatogram results of testing all type of corn samples separately. Sample 170 of sour corn had a lactic acid concentration of 5587 counts, and contained 2 high concentration compounds at over 5000 counts at indices of 1068 and 1178. Whereas, sample 101 of sour corn was less at 2784 counts, and is believed to be isoborneal, which has a musty odor. Sample 150 of moldy corn contained compound G, which had an index of 1135, is believed to be 3-octanol, and had a concentration count of 2992. Compound J present in the sample had an index of 1310 with a concentration count of 5482, and is believed to be either indole or undecanal, which have pungent odors. Isoborneal, a musty odor, was also present but at a much lower concentration count of 294. Sample number 1 and 2 of good corn had concentration counts of below 1000 and only small traces of lactic acid with count of 468 and 205 were detected. Now let's compare the chromatograms of all 5 corn samples. The lactic acid peak is clearly seen in the sour samples. The distinctive compound peaks of musty corn are not present to any large extent in other samples. The relatively odor-free chromatograms of both good corn samples are in stark contrast as well. The olfactory images of all 5 corn samples also indicates a comprehensible comparison. The relatively odor-free chromatograms of both good corn samples give only small images, as their odor concentration is low. Whereas, the lactic acid peak of sour samples and the distinctive compound peaks of moldy corn are easily recognizable, indicating high concentrations.